In this video, I'm going to be walking you through my shoulders and arms routine. At the end of this video, you'll learn my weekly split, the reasoning for my weekly split, shoulders and arms routine, the reasoning behind my exercise choices and their order, importance of consistency and nutrition. So first of all, my weekly split consists of day 1 being chest, day 2 being back, day 3 shoulders and arms, and day 4 is legs and abs. After that, I take a rest day, and then it's repeat after then. The reasoning behind this, it allows every muscle to be targeted throughout the duration of the week. It allows an optimal amount of time for each muscle to fully recover between training sessions. And it also allows for variation throughout the week so that the week doesn't get boring doing the same thing every day. For example, on chest day, on day 1, you're not only using your chest, but you're also using your shoulders and your triceps. So if chest day is on day 1, then shoulders and arms is on day 3. If we take a look back at the weekly split, that's exactly how my weekly split is broken down. Chest day 1, day 3 is shoulders and arms. This gives my shoulders and arms that optimal 48 hours of recovery time so that I'm not just damaging my shoulders and arms over and over again. Rather, I'm giving them time to recover and rebuild themselves. So now we're going to get onto my actual full-on shoulder and arm workout. The workout basically consists of 6 movements, starting off with shoulders, moving on to triceps, and then biceps. First, I'm just going to tell you exactly what the movements are, and then we'll get into why I do them. Firstly, I always start my workouts warming up. I start with shoulder press, and I do 3 sets to failure. Every workout on this list is going to be 3 sets to failure. I like doing all my sets to failure because I like feeling like I have no reps left in the tank. I like to feel like I used all my energy each set. So then after shoulder press, I'll move on to lateral raises. I'll either do cable, dumbbell, or machine variation of lateral raises. It doesn't really matter, just as long as the lateral head of the shoulder is being destroyed. That's all that matters. And on every movement, I make sure that my reps are slow and controlled, just to make sure that I'm getting the proper amount of hypertrophy and putting on the optimal amount of muscle mass. So then after shoulders, I'll move on to triceps, and starting off with triceps, I'll do tricep extensions. And with the attachment, sometimes I use a straight bar, sometimes I use an easy bar where the handles are kind of bent in, so it's easier on your wrist. Sometimes I use straps. It doesn't really matter. As long as you feel it really good in your triceps and you're actually destroying the muscle, that's all that matters. So I guess whatever feels best for you is what you should do. But something that does matter is making sure your elbows stay in the same spot when you're pushing down. So you're not swinging up, using momentum. You're keeping your elbows still so that all that tension is going right to the muscle. Okay, after I do 3 sets of failure on that, I'll go on to skull crushers using an easy bar. Again, easier on the wrists. So yeah, that's how I do those. Then I'll move on to biceps, and I'll start off with close grip pull downs on a lat pull down machine. Famous bodybuilder Mike Mincer, not sure if you all know who that is, but he was a big fan of doing the close grip pull downs because he thought that they were the best bicep workout. And after filming this video, I quickly realized that I think I agree with him. So I started adding these into my workout routine, and I like to start off on those and then move on to preacher curls, which preacher curls are just amazing anyway. So that's how I like to end off my workouts, with preacher curls, using an easy bar again. I'm a big fan of the easy bar. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about why I chose all of these exercises to be in my shoulders and arms workout routine. A little bit later, we're going to talk about the order of the workout. So why maybe shoulder press is first rather than second or something like that. We're going to get into that next after this slide. The reason I like to do shoulder press is because it's my favorite shoulder workout for the front delt. And the front delt basically just lies right next to the chest on the shoulder. It's like right here. And that pressing movement is what makes that front delt get so targeted. It's arguably the best movement to target the front deltoid. And then I move on to lateral raises. It doesn't matter whether you use cables, dumbbells, or machine. Some people argue that cables are better, but I honestly think that it just comes down to, how your build is, and what feels best for you is what you should do. So today I did the machine, so I switch it up sometimes, And it really is a good idea to switch it up a little bit. Every once in a while, change up your split, change up your workouts, because that'll shock the muscles, so to speak, and cause more growth to happen. The lateral raises are perfect for targeting the lateral head of the shoulder. And the lateral head is right here, so the outside of the shoulder. And growing the lateral head is actually what makes your shoulders look large. When you see someone with big shoulders, you typically look at their shoulder right around here, that rounded edge right there. That's going to be the lateral head, and that's what you're going to be targeting when you're doing lateral raises. So then after that, moving on to triceps, I do tricep extensions. The reason for that is I think they're the best movement for the tricep. You can do this in a number of ways. It doesn't really matter how you do them, what attachment you use, just as long as you're targeting the lateral head of the tricep. So don't get it confused with the shoulder. Now we're talking about triceps. The lateral head of the tricep is what you see right here. The lighting's kind of bad, sorry about that, but like the front of the tricep right there. Depending on how you do them exactly, some overhead tricep extensions target more of the long head. So I do push downs to target the lateral head, and then I move on to skull crushers to target the long head of the tricep, which lies right in here. And then moving on to biceps, I do close grip pull downs. Like I said, famous bodybuilder Mike Mincer was a really big fan of doing them. It basically just targets the entire bicep. Like, it doesn't target any specific part of the bicep. Doing close grip pull downs gets the entire bicep. And that's why he liked them a lot. And I think that's why I'm starting to become a fan of them myself. And yeah, it's arguably the best bicep movement, according to Mike Mincer. And he looks like he knew what he was talking about. I'll finish the workout, like I said, off with preacher curls. Arguably one of the next best bicep movements, just because your elbow is going to be situated right on the end of the preacher machine, and it's going to be forcing you to do a curl with perfect form. Axis of rotation of the bicep is your elbow, and that elbow is going to be stationary. All right. This basically just allows 2 movements per muscle group during my shoulders and arm workout. That's why I like this workout a lot, because it's just, I feel like my shoulders, triceps, and biceps are all damaged equally. It's honestly just a great day. Some replacements you could have for some of these movements, maybe if you don't like one of them, or one of them doesn't feel right, or something like that. Some of them are non-negotiable. So like shoulder press and lateral raise. Honestly, you could maybe get away with not doing shoulder press if you just damage your shoulders enough on lateral raises. I could understand. But that should only be if shoulder press hurts or doesn't feel right, something's wrong. Otherwise, I think everyone should be doing shoulder press. Everyone should be doing shoulder press and lateral raises. I don't think those can be really replaced by much. Those are 2 of the best shoulder workouts. But like I said, if shoulder press doesn't feel right, then you can probably just do an extra couple sets of lateral raises. Triceps extensions can be substituted with a ton of different movements. Like, a lot of them are going to be used with a cable, so you can do single tricep extensions like that. You can do rope cable extensions, overhead rope cable, or overhead single cable, dumbbell kickbacks, cable kickbacks. I mean, there are a number of different tricep exercises that you can replace tricep extensions with. Triceps has one of the most wide range of exercise choices. You know, there's a lot of different things you could do. I mean, you could even do close grip bench if you really wanted to. Do whatever feels best for you. That's kind of the idea here. Skull crushers can be substituted with literally the same movements that we just talked about. So like single triceps extensions, rope cable extensions, overhead rope cable extensions, dumbbell kickbacks, close grip bench. I mean, whatever you like, do that. Do whatever you like. Do whatever feels best in your triceps. And by best, I mean worse, because we're damaging our muscles here. So now close grip pull downs as well as preacher curls have, similar to triceps, have a ton of different variations for the movements that you can do. You can do dumbbell curls, cable curls, easy bar curls, concentration curls, hammer curls, spider curls. You can do a ton of different variations for bicep movements. It doesn't have to be that cut and dry. That's a major thing in this video, is just to find what workouts suit best for you. That's the biggest thing. You don't have to do my workout. You don't have to do exactly what I'm saying. But you have to find what's best for you. And the only way to do that is to get in the gym and get some practice. You have to go in and try these out and build your own routine. I spent a couple months building this course that has a lot of different information, and it even has different workout plans and different weekly splits, but it doesn't have only one. It has a bunch of different ones that you can look at and get your own idea to build your own. So I highly recommend you check out that course, maybe get it for yourself. It's very useful, and I combined everything that I know about fitness and dieting into that course, just like I try to do on this YouTube channel. So the reasoning for the order of my workouts is it's pretty straightforward. It has to mainly do with the amount of energy that I'm spending per movement. So I start with shoulder press because it's the most taxing. Shoulder press is the most taxing because you're using so many different muscles to do a movement. When you're doing shoulder press, you're using most of your front delt, like I said, but you're also including a lot of triceps and a lot of the lateral head of your shoulder as well. So that's why I start with it, because it uses the most energy. And it makes sense to want to use the most energy first while you have the energy. So that's why I do that. And then I move on to lateral raises just so I can finish off the shoulders. I like to do shoulders, triceps, then biceps, like I previously stated. And then triceps, I move on before biceps because the tricep takes up about 60% of your total arm mass. So that's why I like to move on to triceps, because they're larger, more muscles, and more energy will be used to have to destroy the triceps. So then I do tricep extensions and then skull crushers. It doesn't really matter the order that you use. That's just what I like to do. I like to do extensions and then skull crushers. They're very similar in movements. Whatever feels best for you, switch them around, whatever you like. So Sam Solik, obviously very famous at the moment, he talked about doing tricep extensions first, because if he went too heavy on skull crushers, it kind of started to hurt his elbows. So what he would do is do triceps extensions first so that it fatigued his triceps so that he didn't have to go so heavy on skull crushers. So that's the perfect example of him experimenting and doing whatever he feels best for him. So then I finish off with biceps because it's the last thing to do, and it requires the least amount of energy. So because of the smallest muscle that I'm hitting on this day. And I start with close grip pull downs because they're more taxing than the preacher curls that I would do following the close grip, if that makes sense. So close grip pull downs are the most taxing of the two bicep workouts that I do, so I do them first. And then preacher curls are the lesser taxing movement, so I finish with them. That's the reasoning for my workout order. So the use of weight per set. So that's a big question that I've heard a lot of people ask is, how much weight should you go for on your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever set you're doing? So for me personally, I like to start with the heaviest set first. So, in the bodybuilding world, this is called a reverse pyramid set. So a lot of people consider this to be the ideal bodybuilding style for exercising, is to do the heaviest set first, just for a way to build more muscle mass is this style of working out. So you can do obviously whatever you feel is best for you. It doesn't make a huge difference, but that's basically what I like to do, is start heaviest and then go lighter. Now, if I'm going for a PR, so if I'm powerlifting, this is obviously not what you want to do. You want to do a stair step up. This is just what you do for building muscle mass in a bodybuilding style workout. Powerlifting, you stair step up to get up to your max, and that's just how that works. But this isn't about powerlifting, this is about bodybuilding, so don't worry about that for now. Okay, so now that we're basically done talking about the actual shoulder and arm day, I want to discuss the most important part of all of fitness. Okay, and that is not lifting. It is not how you do a workout. It is not the reasoning for the exercise choices. It is not the order that you do your exercises in. It is nutrition. Nutrition is the biggest deal here. And protein consumption is arguably the most important part of nutrition. So protein consumption involves, for optimal muscle mass, you need to be consuming about 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight. So if you weigh 170, you need to be consuming 170 grams of protein daily. Now, you need to be drinking at least 1 gallon of water a day. And then calorie amount per day is arguably up there with the protein amount, is arguably up there with one of the most important things with nutrition. Calories, protein, and water. Those are the 3 things that are really important. So calorie amount per day depends on your goals. So if you're bulking, I would say stay in a 500 calorie surplus. meaning you eat 500 more calories than you burn daily. And then on a cut, you eat 500 calories less than what you burn daily. And again, my course that I designed for like a couple months goes in depth on this. So it involves, I mean, my course talks about thermodynamics, and it talks about maintenance calories and how to figure out what your maintenance calories are, best foods that you should be eating on a cut versus on a bulk, so that you're actually reaching your goals easier and more comfortably. It goes far more in depth than what I'm talking about now. So I would recommend you go get that for yourself. All of this stuff is linked under my YouTube profile. Enough plugging. Before you figure out what exercises you need to do in what order and why you should choose certain exercises, you need to get your nutrition right. So yeah, that's all I have to say about nutrition. Just to finish off the video, it's important that you stay consistent. Lift, I would suggest lifting about 5 to 6 times per week. It doesn't really matter the amount of times you work out per week, just as long as you're staying consistent and you're taking rest days when you need to, not just when you don't feel like working out. You need to stay consistent and be disciplined, and take rest days only when absolutely necessary. If your body is completely destroyed, or if you're sick, or something, it's pretty cut and dry. You'll know. And then also hitting your calorie and protein and water goals per day. And stay on track, because that's what you have to do. That's the most important part of lifting and dieting, is staying on track and being consistent. If you don't have either of those, you can forget the rest of this video. So that's basically all I have. I hope you enjoyed this different style of video. I definitely plan on taking this style of video to the next level. Hope you enjoyed. I hope this helps. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below, and I'll be reading all the comments. So thank you for watching, and go crush those goals.